Never Say Die would be the 8th release from Black Sabbath, and the final to feature the original lineup outside of the Reunion live album. It would be recorded between January and May of 1978 and be released that September. Going into the record was already a mess. All the members were out of control with drugs, alcohol, and debauchery. Ozzy left the group for a brief time and was replaced by Dave Walker of Savoy Brown and Fleetwood Mac. With Walker, they would write some new material, and while it would be featured on this album, Ozzy refused to sing any of it. To combat this problem, the group would write new material in the morning and record it in the evening. While good in theory, this would give them little time to workshop the tracks and resulted in the fractured nature of the record. One track, Junior's Eyes, would be rewritten to reflect the mourning that Ozzy was going through of his father who had recently passed away. The album would be recorded in Toronto for tax purposes. The studio, however, didn't fit the needs of the band, who wanted a more live sound, which couldn't be achieved as the studio was carpeted, so they tore all of it up. They took to rehearsing and writing in a local movie theater. The dead of winter didn't help matters, as it was dead cold and relationships within the group were failing fast. The title of Never Say Die was a reference to what the band all knew was happening, that this would most likely be the final outing of this group. Geezer Butler said, "People didn't realize that it was sort of a tongue-in-cheek, the Never Say Die thing, because we knew that this was it. We just knew it was never going to happen again. We did this 10th anniversary tour with Van Halen in 1978, and everybody's going, 'Here's to another 10 years,' and I'm going, 'Yeah, sure.'" Ozzy would later say, "The bottom line was that Breakout was stretching it too far for me. With tracks like that on the album, we might as well have been called Slack Haddock, not Black Sabbath. The only impressive thing about a jazz band, as far as I was concerned, was how much they could drink." Geezer Butler would receive credit for Swinging the Chain, even though it was actually written by Bill Ward. The cover was designed by Hypnosis, who had previously designed Technical Ecstasy. The original cover they designed would be rejected, but later be used by Rainbow on Difficult to Cure. The plane featured in the photo is a North American T-6 Texan. The mask worn by the pilots would later be seen in the Black Sabbath haunted house of Universal Halloween Horror Nights many years later. When released, the album was called Unfocused, a sentiment that remains to this day. Although with the perspective of time, certain tracks such as Hard Road and the title track would find their place. Bands such as King Diamond, Megadeth, and Soundgarden cited as an influence on their own works. To help promote the record, the band appeared on an episode of Top of the Pops. Also featured on that same show was Bob Marley, whom the band was pleased to meet and would look back on the encounter fondly. The tour would feature Van Halen, who at the time were one of the hot and up-and-coming acts. However, relations between the bands began rough. Van Halen opened the first show by covering Sabbath as a show of respect, but this would be misinterpreted by the band as an insult. While tensions would eventually be alleviated, the tour was marred by the usual Black Sabbath chaos, and combined with Van Halen, even more destruction ensued. A video would be produced of the Hammersmith show called Never Say Die. The final selection of the original lineup may not have been perfect, but there are a few moments of brilliance. While the band may have felt it was the end of the group, they still had a hard road ahead. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to help support this channel, like, share, comment, subscribe, check out my old videos, and I will see you guys next time.